morning. It is Wednesday, and I hope everyone's having a good day. Again, this week we're looking at lessons from my Papa and lessons that he taught me. And I get that from the fact that Proverbs chapter number 13 and in verse number 22, the Bible says this: a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. And again, I believe that's talking about something far more than gold and silver. I believe it's talking about a godly heritage. Nothing greater can be left than a godly heritage. And so I want to encourage you to think with me about another lesson my grandpa taught me. Again, most of our stories go around fishing, but we were out one day and we decided we always loved to fish up around Dayton, Ohio, at a place called Rush Run. And at Rush Run, it was a pretty big lake, and one day he convinced me that we would go to bed a little early, wake up really early, and get there to the lake, and it's a state park, and that we would walk the entire lake, and we'd fish it as we walked around the entire lake. It was more than I thought it'd be, and it ended up being more than my grandpa thought it'd be. So we left that morning, and we each had a stringer tied to our belt, so when we caught our fish, we put our own fish on our own stringer, had a milk jug on the other side of our belt. We were a sight to see. And in that milk jug was our worms. The milk jug top of it was cut off. And there we went. And we just went fishing. And went well. Feet got wet pretty early, and which wasn't a big deal at first. Come around 6 o'clock that night, it was a big deal. But we walked around. We caught all kinds of fish. We really did do well. But we did about 3/4 of that lake. And it was getting to be about 7 o'clock. We were tired. My grandpa was tired. And I think we bit off more than we could chew. And we both had eaten a little breakfast that morning, and that was it. We didn't even have bottles of water or anything. We had gone all day without nothing to eat, nothing to drink, walking the entire day, summer day. And finally my grandpa looked at me. And he could tell, when you get done fishing, you're casting, but you're not fishing. I was just holding a rod. He said, "Son," he said, I can't do much more. He said, let's head to the car. And so we bypassed the last fourth of the lake, kind of cut through the woods and then through a field to try to get to the parking lot. So we started walking. And we were both carrying a load of fish. We were both carrying our tackle, and we were both carrying the worms, and we were both were just exhausted with wet feet, caked with mud. Every step was a chore, and I was so thirsty. He was thirsty. We were so hungry, and we're going through this field, and all of a sudden, my grandpa, I fell behind him, and I went over the hill and saw him sitting in the field, and I thought something bad had happened, and so I ran up to him. I thought he had heart issues and stuff, but he's sitting there. He said, "Oh," he said, "sit down here, boy." And we sat down, and he said, "Look around you." And I didn't see nothing, but I started looking around, and my grandpa had found the biggest patch of wild strawberries that I've still ever come across. He said, "Sit down." He told me what they were. We started eating. I've never eaten so many strawberries in my life. They weren't washed. They weren't clean. They were delicious. And we sat down there in the middle of this field, no one around that I could see, and we both sat there and ate our fill of wild strawberries. They were delicious. And by the time we got done, we were both kind of refreshed, ready to roll. We got up and got to the car and went home that night and told my grandma about the best strawberries we ever had in our life. But my grandpas were sitting there. He said, "Isn't this just like the Lord?" He said, you go and you push yourself. He said, and sometimes you get tired, you get weary, you're carrying a load. But God will have something for you right in the middle. You never saw it coming. Just a blessing and a refreshing. It will revive you and get you to go on. He said, "Travis John, God planted these strawberries just for us, so we could sit down and get what we need to get through the day." He said, "God always watches over us, and He always will have a strawberry patch for you if you look for it." And in my life, I can look back and testify to the fact that There's been many times that I was about done carrying my load. Every step I took seemed to be so heavy. But then God had a strawberry patch for me. Just a blessing out of nowhere. It would revive me, get me going again. And I'm thankful for those strawberry patches that you didn't see coming, but God uses it. So my grandpa taught me to look for the strawberry patch, because God will have it right there just when you need it.